Hello everyone, I am Manali Reshamwala, Assistant Professor from LG Institute of Physiotherapy. Today I am going to talk about goniometry. It is a part of syllabus for first year physiotherapy students of Gujarat University and the subject is Exercise Therapy 1. So let's see the topics to be discussed in this video tutorial. So we will first introduce what is goniometry, then types of goniometers including parts and use of each in detail, then procedure and principles of goniometry in detail. So let's see first what is goniometry. So the term goniometry is derived from Greek word where the gonio means angle and metron means measurement. So it is the measurement of angle. Which angle? That is a joint range of motion. So the instrument which is used for measuring the range of motion of the joint is called as goniometer. In this video we are going to say ROM instead of range of motion. So goniometry is used to measure and document the amount of active and passive range of motion. For goniometry procedure, therapists should have knowledge of ROM, that is the range of motion of any joint which we are measuring, then osteokinematics and arthrokinematics of that joint, and axis and plane of movement about that joint. So types of goniometers are universal goniometer, gravity dependent goniometer, fluid goniometer, pendulum goniometer and electrogoniometer. So let's see first universal goniometer. It is having three parts, namely body, stable arm or stationary arm and movable arm. Stable arm is because stays stable, that's why it is known as stable arm, and movable arm can be moved along with the joint motion. So here are some of the types of goniometer. We can see this is having 360 degree protector, it is having 180 degree protector, and this one is a small size which is used as a finger goniometer. So let's describe the parts in detail. The body resembles like half or full circle protector. In the middle of the body axis, a fulcrum screw is present. It connects the stable arm and movable arm, which we can see here in a figure. This is a fulcrum which is connecting body, stable arm and movable arm. And this fulcrum is usually kept along with the joint axis of joint being measured. Then stable arm. This arm does not have any motion. This is being aligned with the proximal segment of the measurement of the joint. And movable arm, it is aligned with the distal segment of the measuring joint. That's why they are sometimes also known as distal arm and proximal arm. Fluid goniometer. Next type of goniometer is fluid goniometer. It is having gravity effect on the pointer of the goniometer. It also have a fluid filled chamber with air bubble. So according to the gravity that varies. And fluid goniometer is used for measuring pelvic tilt or pelvic drop. Next is pendular goniometer. It is designed by Fox and Van Bremen in 1934 and it consists of 360 degree protector with the weighted pointer. So it is usually used for cervical as well as lumbar spine goniometry where it gives really good result. Next is electrogoniometer. It has two arms. One is attached with the proximal part of the joint being moved and another is with the distal part. The potentiometer is connected with these two arms and changes in joint shows angulations in the potentiometer. It is used for research purposes. Here we can see a electrogoniometer. It has proximal and distal parts of it and a potentiometer which will give a correct range of motion. So this can be used for a research purpose. Procedure. The goniometry procedure will include, we have to ask the patient to remove all the clothes which are hindering to that joint movement. Position the patient in relaxed manner and the joint to be measured should be free from any obstacles like pillow, couch, etc. So we have to position the patient in such a way. Then measuring joint has to be in 0 degree of position when we are starting with the measurement. Total procedure should be explained to the patient, how he has to do movement or whether we are doing passive movement. At that time patient, we have to explain the patient that he has to remain relaxed and we are going to measure passive range of motion. Therapist has to stand near to the patient and facing the joint which has to be measured. Fulcrum is placed over the axis of the joint to be measured, and therapist has to move the distal segment of the joint with the movable arm of goniometer to measure the joint range. So let's discuss the principles of goniometry in detail, which may include: first is positioning. So we have to make the patient to lie down or sit down or whatever the position we require for joint range of motion in relaxed manner. Then if patient is in supine lying, we have to take all the measurements or all the joint measurement. If we are measuring all the joint range of motion, in supine lying position we have to measure all the possible range. Then we can make the patient to go for side lying or prone lying and measure every position, every joint in same position. Next is stabilization. Whenever we are moving any joint, we must stabilize the proximal part of the joint being moved to avoid any kind of trick movement. This stabilization helps to achieve a correct or accurate range of motion measurement. Third is movement should be done throughout the full range of motion unless there is a limitation of pain. If there is a limitation in range of motion actively, we should also measure it passively with the same joint and same movement to make sure any abnormality in that joint. Next is end feel. Therapist should have knowledge about end feel also. End feel is a end feeling at the end range of a passive movement. When therapist is making a patient to do movement passively, at the end of range, therapist may feel something that is known as end feel. There can be normal end feel or abnormal end feel. Normal end feel also have some subtypes like soft end feel, firm end feel and hard end feel. So therapist should have knowledge of that where at which joint there is a normal, firm or soft or hard end feel should be felt. If that is not felt where the way should be, that means it is an abnormal end feel. Then alignment of goniometer, we already discussed it. There is that fulcrum should be kept at the joint axis, proximal part or proximal arm of the goniometer should be kept along with the proximal segment of the joint, and distal part arm should be kept along with the distal part of the joint being moved. While reading, therapist should sit or stand to the side of joint being measured in such a way that the reading should be at the eye level of the therapist. That whatever the reading we are seeing in the goniometer should be at the eye level of the therapist. Next is recording. We must record each and every measurements, whether we are taking it pre-exercise or post-exercise or pre-operative, post-operative, anything, as well as after the certain rehabilitation period, we also should measure, and we should also record it in such a way that whether there is a improvement in range of motion or not, so that we can also get to know the effectiveness of our treatment. So here are the references for goniometry in detail. Thank you so much.